From KJFM Louisiana Bowling Green, this is Eagle 102, broadcasting 24/7, 365. KJFM Radio, Eagle 102. Area high school softball is on the air. Every week, Eagle 102 brings you the best of area high school sports. On air at 102.1, online at KJFMradio.com, and on the KJFM Radio app. Now to the diamond for high school softball on your area sports leader, KJFM Radio.
We are at Wallace Memorial Park today, and we have an EMO conference showdown, and it'll be Louisiana facing Montgomery County after a big game that they played a couple weeks back in the Ellsbury tournament. So we'll have more on that in just a little bit. Maddie Ingram and Rachel Lipsy in with you. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Lacrosse Lumber in Vandalia, Hayden's Motorsports Center, and Allison Crow Overhead Doors, LLC.
As many as 50% of people don't take their medication as prescribed. Some never even fill their prescription, even if they don't feel well. Missing or not taking medication can be deadly. For questions about medication, your local Health Mart pharmacy is here to help. For fast, friendly service and affordable prices every day, visit your local Health Mart pharmacy, Bowling Green Pharmacy, located right on the square at 8 North Court in Bowling Green.
Don't have time to stop by the bank? That's not a problem if you're a customer of People's Bank and Trust. With our mobile and online banking service, you can now bank from anywhere. Deposit checks, pay bills, transfer funds between accounts, check the latest activity on your account, and view images of your checks, all from the convenience of your desktop and smartphone. So start banking on your schedule and download the People's Bank and Trust app today. People's Bank and Trust, hometown banking the way it should be. Member FDIC.
This is Tracy Brookshire with Pike County Health Department Home Health and Hospice. Did you know our agency currently offers over 30 programs and services to our communities? The Women, Infant, and Children's Program, infant through adult immunizations, car seat safety courses, diabetes counseling, and of course our amazing home health and hospice programs, just to name a few. Learn more by visiting our website at pikecountyhealth.org and see what services you and your family could benefit from.
Your car, your stuff, your savings. Combine your auto and renter's insurance with a call to State Farm Insurance agent Cindy Blaylock in Louisiana, and let Cindy show you how to put life back in your life insurance. Auto, home, and life. Make your wallet happy. Here to help life go right, State Farm Insurance agent Cindy Blaylock in Louisiana.
Hear all the action from the Eagle 102 broadcast booth. Sponsored by Family Drug in Louisiana.
It's time now for the Eagle 102 pregame show, sponsored by Bowling Green Pharmacy.
And Maddie Ingram, Rachel Lipsy here with you at Wallace Memorial Park in Louisiana as the Bulldogs get ready to take on the Montgomery County Wildcats. And Rachel, we were just talking a little bit before the game about this being a pretty big game for Louisiana as they went to the Ellsbury tournament. They competed really, really well, and they ended up coming back and coming from behind to defeat the Wildcats. So today is a pretty big game because this is the one that means something.
Yes, I agree. I believe that if they just take that last game and keep it in their minds and be goal-oriented, they'll be able to focus up and come through with that win.
Yeah, and so that's something that they're going to have to keep in mind as, you know, they know that they can do it. They obviously already know that they have beat Montgomery County, but as we mentioned, this is the one that counts for the EMO conference, and if they're wanting to get up in the EMO conference rankings and continue to build their status in the EMO, this is the game that matters. And so this would be a definite statement for the Louisiana Bulldogs. So we will have more on that, and the keys to the game brought to you by Vicki Cadwallader Real Estate. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Lynn's Heritage House, Niemeyer Family Farms, and Craig's Truck and Tractor.
It's a great time to buy or sell a home. I'm Vicki Cadwallader, and I take pride in offering skills that make the process go smoothly from beginning to end. Even after closing, I enjoy staying in touch and being there to help you if you have any other needs or questions. During the process, I'll work closely with your lender and other professionals to make it as effortless as possible. I'm here with you every step of the way, so when you're ready to buy or sell, call me and we'll create a personalized plan just for you. Vicki Cadwallader Real Estate, loving our small town life.
Bowling Green Tractor wants to change the way you think about yard work with their Ego 56-volt ARC lithium battery-powered lawnmowers, weed eaters, blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws. At Bowling Green Tractor, you can walk in and see for yourself just how easy these products are to handle. Bowling Green Tractor, your home for ego. Power beyond belief.
As many as 50% of people don't take their medication as prescribed. Some never even fill their prescription, even if they don't feel well. Missing or not taking medication can be deadly. For questions about medication, your local Health Mart pharmacy is here to help. For fast, friendly service and affordable prices every day, visit your local Health Mart pharmacy, Bowling Green Pharmacy, located right on the square at 8 North Court in Bowling Green.
Time now for the Eagle 102 Keys to the Game on KJFM, sponsored by Vicky Cadwallader Real Estate in Louisiana.
Maddie Ingram, Rachel Lipsy in with you today. And Rachel, we already talked about it a little bit in the pregame show, but some of the keys to the game today is obviously playing with that confidence that the Louisiana Bulldogs played with in that Ellsbury tournament.
Yeah, I think if they just carry that confidence in and just do the little thing right, just keep your head down on the play, finish the throw, and just always go up to the plate focused and confident that you can get a hit. They'll come out with this game maybe.
Yeah, and so today we're going to have Maddie Chandler on the mound. She's been kind of the freshman pitcher that Coach Kelsey Calvin has went with, and she has an ERA of 3.9 is what we're going to round up to here. It's 3.892, but she has an ERA of 3.9. But she's allowed 84 runs this year, but only 43 of those have been earned. So some of the things that we could look at today is she's had a little bit of issue with walks and hitting people. So putting those extra runners on base, I think if she can minimize that today, she's going to keep the Bulldogs in a pretty good spot. And so she's playing on a good day because it's her birthday. So you always want to compete that way, right?
Of course.
So
keep the positive energy.
that's what they're going to be looking for. And then as always, the Louisiana Bulldogs will be looking to Allie Jenkins, Emily Powell. Jordan Bayline has also stepped up for Louisiana this year. She is a freshman, but she has a .354 batting average, has 17 hits on the year, so she is tied for leading the team in hits. And so then she also has 10 RBIs on the year. So if we can get those girls going, and then as always, Maddie Chandler, she is not only leading from the pitcher's mound, but she's leading in batting average with a .429 batting average. So getting those players going is what is going to be key for Louisiana's victory this afternoon. They are doing an exchange of lineups at home plate, so we will get ready for starting lineups right here on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by McMailer & Sons Backhoe and Excavating, Gypsy Soul Salon and Boutique, and Knight Equipment Company.
Hello, this is Brittany Hinkey with Community State Bank of Missouri. Now is the perfect time to start saving for retirement. Community State Bank offers competitive rates on traditional and Roth IRAs. Unlike most investments, some contributions may be tax deductible and will grow either tax deferred or tax free. Come in and see one of our IRA representatives in Troy or Bowling Green to maximize your savings opportunities today. Community State Bank of Missouri, your hometown community bank since 1887, member FDIC.
At Pike County Memorial Hospital, we know how important athletics are for your kids, but with an active lifestyle of sports comes health risks and safety hazards. As a certified athletic trainer at PCMH, I work closely with our primary care physicians, orthopedic doctors, and physical therapists. We can make a difference between safe play and dangerous injuries for your athletes. Working with Bowling Green Clopton and the Louisiana schools, our goal is to provide the best possible outcome for your athlete. I'm Eric Schaefer, certified athletic trainer at Pike County Memorial Hospital. I'm at work while your athletes are at play.
Bowie General Services of Farber is ready to help you with all your lawn and landscaping needs. Or maybe you are needing firewood. They offer that as well. Bowie General Services is your reliable contractor in Audrain, Pike, and the surrounding counties.
Hi, this is Dalton Bowie. Give us a call today for a free quote on your next project or to schedule lawn maintenance. 573-470-5354 or visit our Facebook page, Bowie General Services.
As many as 50% of people don't take their medication as prescribed. Some never even fill their prescription, even if they don't feel well. Missing or not taking medication can be deadly. For questions about medication, your local Health Mart pharmacy is here to help. For fast, friendly service and affordable prices every day, visit your local Health Mart pharmacy, Bowling Green Pharmacy, located right on the square at 8 North Court in Bowling Green.
The Eagle 102 starting lineups on KJFM are sponsored by Community State Bank of Missouri in Bowling Green and Troy.
We have your starting lineups. We're going to set the defense for the Louisiana Bulldogs, and they've shaken things up a little bit today. So Maddie Chandler is going to be on the pitcher's mound for Louisiana. Behind the plate, it's Jordan Pedersen. At first base, it's Allie Jenkins. Katie Wallace is at second base. Jordan Bayline is at shortstop. Emily Powell is at third base. Reese Womack is in left. Jalea Reese is in center field, and Ty Campbell is in right field. Looking at Montgomery County's batting lineup, we have Maddie Quatham, who is the pitcher for Montgomery. She'll be leading off. Olivia Fisher, she's playing third base, and she wears number 6 on her back. She's going to be hitting second. Elle Reagan batting third for Montgomery. Kai Rulo Townsend is going to be the cleanup hitter for Montgomery. Dylan Topol is batting in the 5 hole. Erica Devlin is in the 6 hole. Number 21, Carissa Doyle, is batting 7th. Maddie Wisdom is in the 8 hole. And then rounding out the lineup for Montgomery County, it's Miley Reiki. So it goes Queetham, Fisher, Reagan, Rulo Townsend, Topol, Devlin, Doyle, Wisdom, and Reiki for Montgomery County. Looking at Louisiana's batting lineup today, it's just a little bit different. As we mentioned, there was a little bit of a shakeup in the lineup. So Jalea Reese is now at the top of the lineup. Katie Wallace is batting second. Maddie Chandler in the 3 hole. Emily Powell batting cleanup today. Allie Jenkins in the 5 hole. Jordan Bayline is in the 6. Tessa DePriest in the 7 hole. Jordan Pedersen in the 8 hole. And then Ty Campbell is going to round out the lineup in the 9 hole. So once again, it's Reese, Wallace, Chandler, Powell, Jenkins, Bayline, DePriest, Pedersen, and Campbell for Louisiana. We are getting ready for the national anthem as Louisiana gets ready to take the field. They're finishing up their starting lineup, so we will take a break as they get ready for this national anthem. You're listening to High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Miller Ag Services, Clint Bowen Construction, Silex Banking Company, and Advanced Physical Therapy.
Royal Banks is your community bank with locations throughout St. Louis, St. Charles, Northeast Missouri, Granite City, and Jerseyville, Illinois. A Royal Bank branch is not far away. Royal Banks bring experienced staff and products and services designed to meet your professional and personal financial needs. Investing in our communities, one client at a time. Call 314-212-1500 today. Royal Banks of Missouri. Member FDIC and equal opportunity lender.
When you support a locally owned pharmacy, you're contributing to the growth of the community. The dollars you spend stay right here to support our local community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned pharmacies. There's one right here. Health Mart pharmacists have a personal commitment to their communities because, just like you, they support their community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned and hometown proud.
Louisiana is a Health Mart town. Family Drug Health Mart Pharmacy. The right people, the right price, right downtown. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
As temperatures fall, CD rates are rising at People's Savings Bank. With flexible terms from 6 months to 24 months, get more for your money with annual percentage yields as high as 2.79%. Stop in at any of their 11 locations, including right here in Bowling Green, to open a high interest rate CD or check them out online at ourpsb.com. People's Savings Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, quoted APY based on 24-month term with a minimum $1,000 deposit. Terms and conditions may change. Ask for details.
Ingram Plumbing has always been known for its outstanding plumbing service, but did you know that Ingram's is also the largest retail plumbing supply store in the area? We carry Delta faucets, a complete line of Whirlpool tubs and showers, jacuzzi pumps, and many other specialty items. Stop by Ingram Plumbing today, Highway 61, Bowling Green.
Area High School Sports on Eagle 102. Brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, State Farm Insurance, Cindy Blaylock Agent, and Bowie General Services.
We are getting ready for the first pitch here at Louisiana High School as Maddie Chandler gets ready for Louisiana. And as we were mentioning, she's kind of been the bulldog for the Bulldogs this year, so that kind of fits in nicely. But Maddie Chandler has seen quite a few innings for Louisiana, and backing her up is her freshman pitcher as well. It's Reese Womack, and so Coach Calvin has kind of relied on them, but they're going to rely on Chandler today to hopefully come out here and get the win. but we're getting warmed up, and so things are getting ready to get started. Let's go over that starting lineup again for Montgomery County, as it is Maddie Quatham leading off for the Wildcats. Olivia Fisher is in the 2-hole, Elle Reagan in the 3-hole, Kai Rulo Townsend is in the 4-hole, Dylan Topol in the 5, Erica Devlin in the 6, Carissa Doyle is in the 7-hole, in the 8-hole, it's Maddie Wisdom, and then Miley Reiki is going to round out the lineup for the Wildcats as Maddie Quatham is stepping in the box. So it's pitcher versus pitcher for the first at-bat today here in this EMO Conference Showdown. Wind up from Maddie Chandler, and that one's just a little bit inside, taken for ball number 1. So we do have that one kind of knocked Quatham off the plate a little bit, but did not hit her. But we do know that we were talking a little bit in the pregame that Chandler has a tendency to sometimes hit batters, so we're trying to minimize that today. But she just threw a strike there on the outside corner. Now 1-1 evens up the count. This one is grounded to the shortstop, Jordan Bayline, and she throws across the diamond, and a big scoop from Allie Jenkins, and that is the first out of the game. They look like they're doing a little bit of an out dance, Rachel.
Yeah, I don't know if my teammates were ever down to really do that.
That's kind of fun.
I'm missing out.
Yeah, I used to throw out the fishing reel and have somebody hop in for second out. That was kind of fun. Yeah. Olivia Fisher is in the 2-hole, and she will lead this off, and she fouls that one into the dirt. 0-1. As she steps back in, Chandler looks in. She's working efficiently here already in the start of this game, and on the inside corner of the plate, taken for a ball. 1-1. Just one out here in the top of the first. We're just getting started here at Wallace Memorial Park. And it's chopped to third base. And what a grab from Emily Powell as she throws across to Allie Jenkins at first base for out number 2. And that was a really big hop. She had to jump in the air and make that stop. And that was just a big play for the Bulldogs.
She's a really good wall out there, and she probably stretched a lot before that game because, again, it was a good hop.
That it was. It's a ball comes in from – looks like there's a middle school game going on today, so 2 games going on at Wallace Memorial Park. So 2 outs here. Nobody on, and it brings in the 3-hole Elle Reagan. That one hits the backstop as it gets past Pedersen. Looked like it tipped off her glove. Maybe just a miscommunication on pitches, it seemed. Now 1-1 as that one was fouled back to the screen. Making quick work is the Bulldogs. This one. The 1-1 pitch from Chandler to Reagan. This one is poked into right field, and this is going to be at least a single, and it's stopped by Ty Campbell. So it's a single for Reagan in her first at bat, and that is the first base runner of the game. Kai Rulo Townsend, that's a long name. But Kai Rulo is stepping into the batter's box here. She's the 4-hole. She looks like a 4-hitter, and she takes looks like a ball on the inside corner. Not a bad pitch, though, from Chandler. The 1-0, runner on first base. This one's fouled back to the screen now, 1-1. Pedersen has her eye on Reagan. As a runner yourself, Rachel, what are you looking for when you're wanting to steal?
I'm just looking for the moment of they've lost their focus, and that's when I'm going to take advantage and try to hopefully get to that base and gain our team the advantage.
And that would put a runner in scoring position for Montgomery with 2 outs if Reagan were to take second base. And this one is up in the zone, and they're going to check her on that swing. And Reagan takes second base, so now a runner on second base. 2-2 is the count. Big pitch there from Chandler. She can leave the runner stranded. Louisiana can get in there and hit. And this one is up in the zone, and it's popped to the second baseman. Making the catch, it's Katie Wallace. So no run score for Montgomery, and we are headed to the home half of the first inning. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Lacrosse Lumber in Vandalia, Hayden's Motorsports Center, and Allison Crow Overhead Doors LLC.
Hey, this is Ryan with Mid-America Auto and Towing in Bowling Green, and we've got the lot looking good and ready to go. We've got something for everybody's budget. We have a constant rotation of new inventory, including cars, trucks, and SUVs. So if you're out and you're looking for a new car, come by and see me. Mid-America Auto and Towing, just off Highway 54 in Bowling Green, is a one-stop shop. Like us on Facebook or check out our website, midamericaautoandtowing.com.
Follow area high school sports throughout the season on Eagle 102. Brought to you by Shelter Insurance Agent Tim Jenkins, Veolia Landscape Supply, Royal Banks, and a taste of Philly.
Home half of the first inning here at Wallace Memorial Park, 0-0. That is our score, 0-0, as Maddie Quatham is getting warmed up on the mound for Montgomery. And so it's a battle of the Maddies today. And so we'll see which Maddie comes out on top. As throwing down is, let's see who's behind the plate again for, that'll be Dylan Topol. So that is who is behind the plate for Montgomery. Leading off again, it's Jalea Reese, Katie Wallace, and then Maddie Chandler. If any of them get on, it'll be Emily Powell in the 4-hole for Louisiana. But shaking things up a little bit as Jalea Reese has been at the bottom of the lineup. And so we'll see what the Bulldogs do here as they've shaken things up a little bit today, looking to get some things started and putting some speed at the top of the lineup. But they're also going to have speed at the bottom of the lineup with Ty Campbell. And one of the things that Louisiana does know how to do is drop down a bunt. So let's see what they do here and get started with Reese. She takes a ball on the outside corner of the plate. Not a bad pitch, but umpire isn't calling it a strike today. It's been consistent.
Consistency is key.
That's all we can ask for, at least as a hitter and a pitcher. And that is a strike on the inside corner of the plate to Jalea Reese, now 1-1. 0-0 is our score as we have two games going on here at Wallace Memorial Park. A middle school game as this one's bunted back to the screen, now 1-2. Middle school game on, is that field 2?
Field 2. I'll watch your head if there's a foul ball.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Watch my car, too, if you can.
Okay. I got your keys, so I might just take it home later.
The 1-2 pitch to Reese, and that was very pretty, but Reese takes it, and now 2-2. That was a close one. Close to take with 2 strikes. She digs back into the box. Reese bats from the left side. She swings at that one, and it had some changeup action, and holding on is Dylan Topol, and that is how the first out will go, and it is a strikeout in the book for Maddie Quatham.
Well, now that we know that she has that changeup, that's something to look for the other girls up at the plate.
Yeah, and she has a kind of a funky spin in that as she kind of gets on top of the ball, which is sometimes hard to read.
Yep.
This brings in Katie Wallace for the Bulldogs. Talking a little bit in the pregame, but Katie Wallace, she's had 16 hits so far this year, is batting .327. She's typically been at the top of the lineup, but she's been consistent, and so, going down to the 2-hole really isn't that much of a difference, still at the top. So now 1-1 is the count to Wallace. Took a ball for her first pitch and a strike there. Just one out. Big swing from Wallace. Seems like their timing is off, Rachel.
Yeah, that can happen from game to game, just the various speeds of pitchers, but I think being in the 2-hole is probably more of a comfort thing. You get to see what the first batter does and just focus in.
This one is in the other batter's box for ball number 2. The 2-2 pitch to Wallace, and that is low and outside for ball number 3. So base hit, ball 4, strikeout. It's a mix of things of what we could get here. Foul ball, you never really know. at 3-2, it makes people kind of get defensive as a pitcher and as a hitter.
Exactly.
Big swing, and this one is popped in between shortstop and left field, and she dropped it. So it looked like she was going to make the catch and called off the shortstop, Miley Reiki, but Erica Devlin drops the ball, and that is a double for Katie Wallace. So standing up at second base is Katie Wallace as she has some speed, and Maddie Chandler is coming to the plate, and this is somebody that is leading the team in hits with 18 and doesn't really have all that many RBIs. She only has 4, but she is leading the team in the batting average for Louisiana as she takes ball number 1. And so this is a hitter that if you are Quatham, you don't want to mess with.
I think she's looking to get a big hit for her birthday.
This one is taken on the outside corner of the plate, ball. And one was on the inside corner of the plate, so you have a strike and a ball in the count, so 1-1. That one's just a little bit too low. Umpire says that is not a strike. Now 2-1. Runner on second base, just 1 out. With the potential of bringing this run in and giving herself a little bit of insurance, it's Maddie Chandler at the plate. She's your starting pitcher today for the Bulldogs, and it's a big swing there, swinging for the fences. Stepping back into the box with a 2-2 count is Chandler. Quatham to Chandler, a battle of the pitchers. And this one gets off of the glove of Topol, and standing up now at third base is Katie Wallace. So now that runner is really, really close to home.
Just an easy tap of the ball, and she could be there.
Base hit to the right side could bring that runner in, and that's really kind of all that Chandler's looking for. And this one is hit right back up the middle. And that is a line drive, and that is an RBI, and that is insurance for herself. That was a big hit from Chandler as that was ripped right back up the middle, right at Quatham. It looked like it may have hit off of her glove or her wrist or something, so coach is coming out to check on her. That is how the first run will go down into the books for Louisiana. Little bit of conversation as we're getting a runner for Maddie Chandler. Looks like number 12, Harley Norval, is going to be running. So she is a junior. So she'll be the pinch runner, and she'll be the pinch runner all day for Chandler. Brings in Emily Powell for the Bulldogs. Umpire's getting his paperwork done. But a runner at first base, just 1 out. Louisiana is now leading Montgomery County 1-0, and that run could go pretty far, especially if it's a 1-run game towards the end. You know, it could just be 1-0. This could be the only run that is scored today, so that run is definitely important for the Bulldogs.
It is, and then they have to play tight defense. 1-0 games are nerve-wracking.
They are. This one's taken up in the zone for ball number 1 to Powell. The 1-0 pitch. This one is inside, and she finds the 5-6 hole and hits this one to left field on the ground, and now runners at first and second base for the Bulldogs. So they have found some hits here, some life.
As a softball player, when you saw your teammates getting hits, what type of motivation did that give you at the box?
Well, I was like, well, it's my turn. I want to hit the ball, and so if I saw that all my teammates could do it, then it's my turn. I want to do it too. And so it's just that confidence, and I'm sure that Allie Jenkins has it because she knows that she can do it. Big swing from Jenkins. And sometimes you'll see that, and that was way off the plate, but she's eager to hit. So it's that confidence that we were talking about. Everybody else hit it. I can also hit that ball. This one is hit to center field. Making the catch and almost falling down with it is Elle Reagan, and that is out number 2. So that was a high fly ball.
Still a solid at-bat. More to come from Allie Jenkins, though.
Runners at first and second base. Brings in the freshman, Jordan Bayline. as we mentioned in the pregame show, she's really stepped up this year and helped her team out quite a bit, both defensively and offensively. Looks like she stepped out there and took a swing. 0-1. Quatham to Bayline. This one is outside for ball number 1.
You know, I think it's a great thing when freshmen can step up in big roles and help out their team, because that's only the beginning for them. They have their whole high school career.
Yeah, and you really saw a lot of that with the class that's juniors right now for Louisiana. They came in, they were very young, as Bayline takes ball number 2, but they came in, they were very young, and now they're the upperclassmen. But you see these experienced freshmen coming in and getting a lot of time and really holding the team together. And this one is hit up the middle and can't make a play. It's Miley Reiki, and so a run is going to score. Coming around is Harley Norville, and that is for Maddie Chandler. So now 2 runs on the board for the Bulldogs. So they have found some hits and they have found some runs. Brings in Tessa DePriest. Runners at first and second base, 2 outs. Still in the home half of the first inning. Big swing from Tessa.
Good cut, too.
And that's something that Coach Calvin had worked on all summer and worked on a lot last year is trying to get her hitters aggressive early in counts. And you're seeing those really big swings, and they're the first pitch. And sometimes that's the best pitch you'll see.
Mm-hmm. Hesitation does kill, so if it feels right, go for that first pitch.
That one was in the dirt for ball number 1. Tessa has an opportunity to knock in a couple runs here, and she fouls it into the dirt. 1-2. So the Bulldogs have found some holes, 5-6 hole right up the middle a couple of times, and it's ball number 2 taken on the outside corner of the plate. Let's see if DePriest can do it here and keep it going. Give her team some more insurance. 2-2, and that is on the inside corner of the plate, and she gets rung up, and that's how this inning will end, but not before Louisiana puts 2 runs on the board. We're headed to the top of the second inning. Louisiana leads Montgomery County 2-0. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Lynn's Heritage House, Niemeyer Family Farms, and Craig's Truck and Tractor.
The Mercantile Bank of Louisiana is introducing Merc BK Mobile. With the ability to take a picture of your check and deposit it into your Mercantile Bank account, you'll never have to worry about getting to the bank. Find more information by visiting mercbk.com. The Mercantile Bank, located on the corner of 3rd and Georgia Streets in downtown Louisiana. Member FDIC.
Bundle at Pike County Mutual Insurance and save. Ask about the great rates on your personal vehicle, farm trucks, big or small, or even your motorcycle and side-by-sides. Stop by and see myself, Corey Buchanan, or Kathy Gam at your hometown insurance company since 1895. Pike County Mutual Insurance on the square in Bowling Green.
Bringing you all the action from the Eagle 102 broadcast booth. Sponsored by Family Drug in Louisiana.
The Louisiana Lady Bulldogs have a lead. It's 2-0 as we get ready to kick off this inning here, and that's always nice coming in as a defense and as a pitcher with a 2-run lead.
I think it's about setting up the game early and the what's the words I'm looking for? Just the morale early in the game and carrying it through.
Number 14, Dylan Topol. She's your catcher today for Montgomery County. She steps into the box for Montgomery. This one is at the top of the zone and just missing, and it's ball number 1. Chandler, the 1-0 pitch to Topol. This one is hit to the shortstop, which is Jordan Bayline, and she throws across the diamond, and that is how out number 1 will be recorded this inning. So Bulldogs are looking sharp. No errors thus far, as there's been lots of balls that have been hit into play. Brings Erica Devlin to the plate. She wears number 11, bats on the right side, and this one is hit to the first baseman, Allie Jenkins, and she's going to tag out Devlin. So that was a very heads-up play. So that could have went a couple of different ways, Rachel. And so, you know, if you make that time to stop and turn yourself around and throw to first base, what could have happened?
She could have overflipped it, or, you know, the sun's pretty bright, and that person covering first could have happened to just miss it. But honestly, I wanted to yell, it's going to go foul.
Yeah.
However, Allie Jenkins, heads up play.
And strike number 1 to Carissa Doyle. It's taken on the outside corner. It's where we like to see Chandler, as she likes to paint those corners. She's letting her defense work. She's going to get a lot of ground balls. She's going to get some pop flies, but she's going to keep the ball low, and that's really been how she's been effective this year. The 1-1 pitch to Doyle. That one's fouled back to the screen and makes its way over to Allie Jenkins at first base. Now 1-2. What the Bulldogs would like to do here is put an end to this inning, 1, 2, 3, get back in there and continue their hitting, because they had a fantastic first inning. The 1-2 pitch. Will she throw a curveball here? And she does, and that one is just outside, ball number 2. She likes to go to that curveball when she has 2 strikes, and it's been effective for her all year. Now 2-2, 2 outs in the second inning. This one's up in the zone, ball number 3. The 3-2, let's see what Chandler does here, if she can get her team back in and make this an efficient inning. And a big swing, and she gets Doyle. And that is a strikeout, and that's how the second inning will go. And we are headed to the bottom of the second inning. Louisiana leads Montgomery County 2-0. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by McMailer & Sons Backhoe and Excavating, Gypsy Soul Salon and Boutique, and Knight Equipment Company.
From the classic cheese steak and rich crab cakes, a Taste of Philly in Bowling Green is a fan favorite. A meal ready for you before or after the game, and game day jerseys are welcome. Open 7 days a week. A Taste of Philly, Business Highway 54 West in Bowling Green.
The area's best coverage of high school sports on Eagle 102, brought to you by Pike County Health Department, People's Savings Bank, and All Parts.
It's 2-0, and we are in the bottom of the second inning at Louisiana High School as Maddie Quatham is finishing up her warm-up pitches, and we are near the bottom of the lineup for Louisiana. Looks like Jordan Pedersen in the 8-hole is going to lead things off, followed by Ty Campbell. Then we're back to the top of the lineup, which would be Jalea Reese. If Jalea Reese gets on, it'd be Katie Wallace. So back into a pretty good spot for the Bulldogs, as they had a great first inning, as we've already mentioned. They scored 2 runs. They had quite a few hits, and they found some holes, which is what they're going to have to do this whole entire game if they're wanting to win today. Brings in Pedersen. She's our catcher today. We saw a lot out of her last year. This year, not so much. She's seen a little bit less time, but over the last couple of weeks, she's seen herself behind the plate just a little bit more. And she swings on a pitch on the outside corner of the plate for strike number 1.
I think Coach Calvin is just moving players around, trying to find that sweet look on the field for all her players and who works well together.
She swings at that one for strike number 2. And that's exactly what you have to do going into district play, and trying to figure out what kind of works together and who works together the best, what kind of lineup works the best. And Quatham tries to go on the outside corner again, but this time Pedersen doesn't bite. Now 1-2 is the count, so a good take from Pedersen as she swung at the last 2 that were out of the zone. And that one is out of the zone, but she goes down swinging, and that is strike number 3. And that is the first out here in the bottom of the second inning. Brings up Ty Campbell, and the Lady Bulldogs have nearly batted around at this point. Ty is the final batter of the lineup, and then we're headed back to the top. It's Reese Womack. So Ty Campbell is actually playing defense today, but she is not hitting. So Reese Womack is at the plate And she fouls this one off.
Another strong freshman who has a good future ahead of her.
She can hit well. She came up with a big offensive hit a couple weeks ago in a walk-off win over Wright City. She's come in and she's pitched and she's been solid. So definitely something that, you have to look forward to. And this one is fouled out of play now. 0-2 to Womack. The 1-2 pitch. And this one is lined to left field, and it gets down, and that is a single for Reese, and she's going to look at second base and draw the throw. She comes back. That's a one-out single.
Again, just good placement of the ball. Can't do anything about that.
Now we're back to the top of the lineup for the Bulldogs. Jalea Reese at the plate.
I'd like to see some bunts be laid down.
I know, and she can do it. This is the girl that they turn to for it, so we'll see if she does it here, and she gets ready to show it but pulls it back, and that is strike number 1 right down central. If she was going to do it, that probably would have been the one to do it on.
No, hesitation kills.
Runner on first base, 1 out. It's the bottom of the second inning here at Wallace Memorial Park as Louisiana leads Montgomery County 2-0, and this one is fouled down the third baseline, and it was nearly fair.
Just a little slow on her turnaround with that bat, and that's why it hit off the bat so hard.
Got past Olivia Fisher at third base, so if it would have been fair, it could have been 2 for Reese.
A strong bunt.
The 0-2 pitch. This one is on the outside corner. Not a bad pitch from Quatham. 1-2. The 1-2. This one, big swing from Reese, and she misses. She thought she fouled it, but she did not. So that is another strikeout for Quatham today. Brings in Katie Wallace. Runner still at first for the Lady Bulldogs. Reese Womack hasn't moved. Hasn't made her way to second base. This one's in the dirt. Big lead. She retreats back as Topol flashes her arm and says, "I'll throw."
If I was a runner, I'd be like, okay, do it.
Do it.
I'll steal.
And that you would. You were pretty quick. You knew what you were doing. The 1-0 pitch. This one is high into center field, and that is caught by El Reagan, and that is out number 3. Louisiana still leads Montgomery County 2-0. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Miller Ag Services, Clint Bowen Construction, Silex Banking Company, and Advanced Physical Therapy.
Some of my fondest childhood memories are from volunteering with my grandmother. Helping others was her passion. She'd always say, "The sweetest fruits of life come from serving others." And she was right.
At Shelter Insurance, we strive to make a positive impact in the communities where we work and live.
See me, Tim Jenkins, at 3404 Georgia Street for a free insurance review.
It's a great time to buy or sell a home. I'm Vicki Cadwalder, and I take pride in offering skills that make the process go smoothly from beginning to end. Even after closing, I enjoy staying in touch and being there to help you if you have any other needs or questions. Call me and we'll create a personalized plan just for you. Vicki Cadwalder Real Estate, loving our small town life.
Hear all the action from the Eagle 102 broadcast booth, sponsored by Family Drug in Louisiana.
2-0. Louisiana is leading Montgomery County here at Wallace Memorial Park in an EMO conference match. And so they have some momentum here, and we are at the top of the third inning. And it seems that Maddie Chandler has had a pretty good start today, Rachel.
It's the birthday spirit.
It is. That's
Cannot
exactly
get you
what
down.
it is. And that one's just up in the zone, and she's just missing there, and that's ball number 1. So just up in the zone. The 1-0 pitch on the inside corner, and it's taken for a strike that time. 1-1.
She does work the plate very well. I've seen a lot of different angles and heights come out of her hand, and I think that's a good quality to have, wouldn't you say?
Yes, and so she's able to jump back and forth as she goes in and out, and this one is poked into right field, and that's a single for number 16, Maddie Wisdom. And, you know, being able to jump from corner to corner and effectively get strikes on both sides of the plate is something that she's mastered, I would say, and that's going to be effective as she continues to grow and develop as an athlete and as a pitcher. So runner on first base. So that goes down as a single for Maddie Wisdom. And we're just now to the bottom of the lineup for Montgomery. One and 0 is our count. It's Reiki at the plate, Miley Reiki. And this one, they're going to check her swing, and they're going to say she didn't go. That's always a hard call, whether you're an umpire or whoever. When you're a hitter, you're like, I didn't go. When you're on the other side, you're going to say, yeah, you went. But it's always different when you're in the
say she did.
Yeah. The 2-0 pitch. This one is grounded up the middle, and that's going to get to Jalea Reese, and she bodies it, keeps it in front of her. Runners now at first and second base. This could be trouble. There's no outs here in the top of the third.
I think the most important thing to do as an outfielder, and definitely, well, any place or position on the field, keep that ball in front.
Yeah. If that ball gets past her, that's quite possibly a run. So you want to make sure that you keep that ball in front of you. Use your chest, drop down to a knee, however you really want to do it. We're back to the top of the lineup, and it's Maddie Quatham, Montgomery County's pitcher, at the plate, looking to help herself as she's given up 2 runs today. Runners at first and second base. Louisiana looking to get out of the jam. The 1-0 pitch to Quatham. This one's up in the zone too. Now 2-0. And sometimes we'll see this out of Chandler, and sometimes she just has to settle back in. So whenever she does find that groove and she can settle back in again, she's really, really hard to touch. So hopefully she finds it early here. This one is hit to the center fielder, Jalea Reese, getting a read on it and making the catch for out number 1. She throws it back into second base and keeps the runner there. It's a big out for Louisiana. It's always the first one that you have to get in those situations. After that, that's what you want.
What did you used to do to find your rhythm in the pitching circle?
I would count. I would count to myself. And somebody is probably listening and being like, what in the world? But I would talk to myself and count. I would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one is line foul, just out of play.
Solid rip.
It was. But yeah, I would take a deep breath. I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I would take a deep breath. And then I would go and do whatever. And then before I did my pitch, I would walk myself through my motions in my head, and then I would go again. And that's really how I calm myself down.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Pitchers are animals. They're a different breed. They're kind of odd. I don't know that anybody else has those issues. And this one's taken the outside corner of the plate. Not a bad pitch. 1-1.
I rarely pitched, but I was middle infield, and I always had my little ticks. I had to take 1 step forward, pause, another step. I tap my fingers, lick my hands, ready to go.
It really is. It's a superstition sometimes. Like, oh, I did this last time and I threw a strike, so maybe I do that again, or like I did this before this play and I fielded it cleanly, right? And so then it's always about what makes you feel comfortable. Now 2-1 as that one was in the dirt. The good news is Chandler can rely on that defense as they've been solid today. Runners still on first and second base. It doesn't make you feel any better. 3-1. But what makes you feel even worse is when the bases are loaded. Then you can freak out a little bit more. But we don't want to freak out. We don't want her to freak out. It's her birthday.
calm, cool, and collected today.
Exactly. 3-1. That's ball number 4.
So you just said, the worst situation would be bases loaded. Here we are, bases loaded, but now it's time to focus in, and guess what? You can make a play at any base.
Yes. And we were just talking about that Louisiana defense, and they fielded some tough ground balls today, made some great throws over to first base. All they have to do is get a little ground ball here. You could turn a double play and get out of this inning. This one is up in the zone. That's ball number 1. Still just 1 out. Louisiana still leads this one. It's 2-0. Bases are loaded here, though, in the top of the 3rd inning. So spelling trouble just a little bit, so let's see if they can get out of it. This one is up in the zone again. 2-0. But you can tell that Montgomery County is being selective at the plate. They're seeing that Chandler is at the top of the zone right now, and they're not biting. They're not getting out on that front foot and not trying to roll over anything. She's got to get back towards the lower part of the zone, which is exactly what you'd want as Coach Calvin to induce that ground ball and get your defense to work. And that's what she gets. And, it's bobbled by Katie Wallace. Kind of caught her sleeping a little bit on her heels, but she got the ground ball. She made the pitch. She got the ground ball, hit to the second baseman, Katie Wallace, and it's just bobbled. So everybody is safe, and a run comes across the plate for Montgomery County. So now 2-1 is our score. Bases are still loaded and just 1 out. Looks like they're going to have a little bit of a team conference out here, and so that'll send Audra Heimer to the plate to talk to her batter, which would be Kai Rulo Townsend.
Is that just the team talking? Because, sometimes that's a really good initiative that the teams take to, we gotta get it together.
I think Emily Powell kind of initiated that, so taking some leadership there and knowing what she needs out of her teammates. So trying to slow some things down, force out at home plate. Just 1 out in the top of the 3rd inning. And that is taken for a strike on the outside corner of the plate. That was a late kind of call from the umpire. He wasn't very loud about it, and he was late to put his hand up. The 0-1. This one is poked into right field, and it's going to get down, and it's bobbled by Ty Campbell. And so 2 runs are going to come across the plate for Montgomery. Now runners at first and third, and that little bloop single kind of turned into a little bit more trouble than it was worth.
So now it's a new game at 2-2, right?
Be 3-2.
3-2, my bad.
Yep, 2 runs across the plate for Montgomery. So we're now to the 5-hole. Runners at first and third. You could probably see Townsend take second base here, put 2 runners in scoring position. Brings in Dylan Topol, and she takes a strike on the outside corner of the plate, and taking second base, it's Townsend. And so now runners at second and third, still just 1 out, as Montgomery now leads this game 3-2.
I think it's moments like this where your team's in a jam that shows the real resilience of the team itself and the player. So let's see what they can come out with.
Ball on the outside corner, just missing. 1-1. Looking to get out of this here with minimal damage. Try to keep it at only 3 runs. And this one is popped into right field. Coming a long way is Ty Campbell, and she holds on to make the catch, but leaving third base and coming in to score is Elle Reagan. So that was kind of caught awkwardly as the sun was in her eyes, and it looked like she was trying to shield it, and it popped out of her glove, and she caught it again. So they throw back to third base, and they check the runner, and they get her out for leaving early. So that is how the inning will end, and only 3 runs come across the plate for Montgomery County, so kind of a funky ending to the inning. We are headed to the bottom of the 3rd. Louisiana trails Montgomery County 3-2. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Lacrosse Lumber in Vandalia, Hayden's Motorsports Center, and Allison Crow Overhead Doors LLC.
Hello, this is Brittany Hinkey with Community State Bank of Missouri. Now is the perfect time to start saving for retirement. Community State Bank offers competitive rates on traditional and Roth IRAs. Unlike most investments, some contributions may be tax deductible and will grow either tax deferred or tax free. Come in and see one of our IRA representatives in Troy or Bowling Green to maximize your savings opportunities today. Community State Bank of Missouri, your hometown community bank since 1887, member FDIC.
Area high school sports on Eagle 102. Brought to you by Cellular and Satellite Center, Pike County Memorial Hospital, and Community State Bank of Missouri.
So a very, very odd turn of events here. They called the runner out for leaving early. Everybody goes back to their respective dugouts, except for the hitter. And then coaches begin to argue, and now the runner is back at second base, and she just stole third base. So we're still here in the top of the third inning as things kind of made a flip after some argument there. And so now you have a runner at third base for Montgomery and a batter at the plate, and the count is now 1-1. Now 1-2 as she takes strike number 2 on the inside corner of the plate. And there's really not much you can do about that, as Louisiana did their best, and they had the call that they were looking at, and that's another strike there. 1-2. And Louisiana got the call they were looking for. They did every little thing right. They go back to the dugout thinking that they had out number 3, and they don't.
You just got to go back out there and show them that, you know, it was the right call, and they got that third out.
Yeah. So now you have to do it again. So out number 3 again, which always kind of odd. 1-2. At the plate, it's Erica Devlin. It's now 3-2 to Devlin as she takes the ball in the outside corner. So Chandler trying to dig deep here and get out number 3, and this one is fouled. And it looked like it hit off Pedersen, and then it also hit off Devlin. 3-2 again. So trying to strand that runner at third base again. So unfortunately, on top of that, a run also scores. Yeah, so since that run came across the plate, she left early, she came across the plate, they call her out, everybody goes back to their dugouts.
You think they would reset that?
Yes, but unfortunately that is not it. That is not the case. So 4-2 it is now that Montgomery leads Louisiana. So you can see that there's some people that are kind of frustrated here. And as a coaching staff, you probably are frustrated too. But that is a big strikeout for Maddie Chandler as she paints the inside corner of the plate. So now we are headed to the bottom of the third inning as Louisiana trails Montgomery 4-2. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Lynn's Heritage House, Niemeyer Family Farms, and Craig's Truck and Tractor.
As many as 50% of people don't take their medication as prescribed. Missing or not taking medication can be deadly. For questions about medication, visit your local Health Mart pharmacy, Bowling Green Pharmacy, located right on the square at 8 North Court in Bowling Green.
Cellular and Satellite Center is the only stop you need to make when it comes to satellite providers, offering DirecTV and Dish Network along with antenna installs. Now, a special message from Matthew Niemeyer himself.
If you call an 800 number and they say we will be the local installer, they are wrong.
Contact Matthew at Cellular and Satellite Center in Bowling Green, your local authorized dealer.
Bringing you all the action from the Eagle 102 broadcast booth, sponsored by Family Drug in Louisiana.
4-2 is our score, and I think that the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs are probably going to have a little bit of fight and fire in them after that because, my goodness, that is one of those things that kind of burns just a little bit, but they're just trailing by 2 runs, and it's Maddie Chandler at the plate, and she could be the most angry out of all of them, I think.
Of course, yes. Don't want to ruin her birthday. And also, you know, they came back on Montgomery once.
Yes.
2 runs, so easy to make up in a short amount of time.
Especially with the way that these Bulldogs are hitting today. This one is fouled out of play. 1-1 is our count, and that hits a car.
Your
but it's
car's
not.
good.
My
Your
car's good.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all that matters here. My car and your car, as long as your car's good too.
I know.
The 1-1 is inside and just missed hitting Chandler. So now 2-1. Chandler steps back in the box, looking to get another hit here. She drove one up the middle earlier, and this one is fouled. Will it stay in? And it goes out of play. Back towards some cars again. It hit off the top of the dugout, so this one won't hurt as bad if it hits a car. The 2-2 count. No outs here in the bottom of the third. It looks like a changeup from Quatham, but it stays at the top of the zone. Now 3-2. Quatham to Chandler for the 3-2 pitch, and a big swing from Chandler, and that is how she'll go down swinging, as it was a strikeout. First out of the bottom of the third goes down as a K.
If I was a batter looking to make up some runs, I'd still have that aggression at the plate, but I would definitely start to make the pitcher work more.
Yes.
Let's see what she can actually do and work the count.
Be a little bit more selective, throw more pitches, try to work her down. This one is grounded to the third baseman, Olivia Fisher, and she comes across the diamond to make the throw to Carissa Doyle for out number 2, and that was Emily Powell that grounded out to Fisher. So it's Allie Jenkins at the plate now for the Bulldogs. This one is fouled off the end of the bat, and this is going to roll slowly down the first baseline. 0-1 to Jenkins. And what did Allie do her first at bat? She popped out. Popped out.
Still a strong hit, though.
Yes, she was aggressive at the plate, and she went swinging on that first pitch, and then after that, she popped out. Had the opportunity to bring in a couple of runs. She can get things started here, though, and they can bring in a couple of runs with 2 outs. The 0-1 pitch to Jenkins, and this one is outside, and she doesn't go chasing. Good eye from Jenkins. 1-1. This one is lined down the third baseline, and it's going to go down the left field line, and it's going to be at least a double for Jenkins, and she's going to stop there. So that is a double. That is some momentum for the Bulldogs, especially with Bayline at the plate, as this is a freshman that has been productive and been able to put those runs across the plate for Louisiana. Big hit, though, from Jenkins.
Let's watch Jordan find another gap, hopefully.
Finding a hole would put a run across the plate for Louisiana and cut this lead down to just 1 run. And she takes strike number 1 on the inside corner of the plate. So a runner on second base, 2 outs. Louisiana is trailing Montgomery County 4-2. And it is the bottom of the third inning here at Wallace Memorial Park. This one is taken outside. Ball number 1, 1-1 now the count. The 1-1, and that one is outside and almost gets away from Topol. That could have been big for the Bulldogs if it would have gotten away, as Jenkins would have been at third base.
Those are my favorite moments. The ball getting past the catcher.
And this one is lined up the middle, and that's a single for Jordan Bayline. And coming around is Allie Jenkins, and she's going to score.
Jordan Bayline coming in big. Again, she's a freshman, solid hitter. Solid fieldman, so great future.
So
great
runner
season.
now at first base for Louisiana, so they have something started, and they've cut the lead down to just 1 run. And Tessa DePriest is at the plate, and we know she has some power, and she can bring in a run as well. Key here is getting Bayline to second base, and then everything comes a little bit easier after that. There are 2 outs, though, so Louisiana doesn't really have a lot of room to work with this inning, but they can still get a run across the plate. This one is fouled and nearly stays fair, but goes out of play.
Had some spin on it.
The 0-2 pitch to DePriest. She's looking for something she can drive here. Find a hole in right field. And this one is hit to the 5-6 hole, and that'll do just as well. So Bayline to second base, and DePriest is now at first. So runners at first and second base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Not to jinx it, knock on wood, but I think the bats are coming alive.
They are. And they've been finding holes, which is effective. Sometimes you just wait for that big hit. Well, they've been stringing together lots of hits. And so I like games where you can find those holes often. And if you hit it to a hole or you hit it right up the middle, those are the hits that I prefer. Runners at first and second base. Jordan Pedersen is at the plate for Louisiana. She takes ball number 1. 4-3 Louisiana trails. Quatham is on the mound for Montgomery County. Louisiana Bulldogs have gotten to her quite a bit already today. This one is high and outside, ball number 2. Being selective has kind of worked in their favor, so it was like they kind of flipped a switch after you were speaking. Maybe it's because you know them. Were you telepathically communicating to them, Rachel?
I am. I'm giving them all my softball senses.
Strike number 1 on the outside corner of the plate. 2-1. This one is hit high in the air to left center field. Making the catch, though, is L. Reagan and putting an end to the threat, but not before Louisiana cuts this lead to just 1 run. It's 4-3. Montgomery County is leading Louisiana. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by McMailer & Sons Backhoe and Excavating, Gypsy Soul Salon and Boutique, and Knight Equipment Company.
Miller Ag Services LLC in Bowling Green provides the services and supplies to maximize your yield. A family business, Cleet and the Millers bring you quality service and products. Call today 573-470-0101 for Miller Ag Services LLC.
Hard work, dedication, and commitment to excellence are foundations of a successful sports program. The team at Clint Bowen Construction recognizes character and the mentality of local athletes as the pillars of our community. Best of luck to area sports teams this season from the team at Clint Bowen Construction in Bowling Green. Hear all the action from the Eagle 102 broadcast booth, sponsored by Family Drug in Louisiana.
Something that Louisiana has had all year is some fight, and so they have some fight in them today as it is the 4th inning, but today just clawed their way back into this one. They really were never out of it, but they were able to tack on another run. It's 4-3 as Montgomery is leading Louisiana here in this EMO conference match.
Not to correct you, but did they claw or did they paw?
They pawed. They pawed. You're right. Now, if it was Montgomery, they'd be clawing. You're right. It's the English teacher in you. Look at you go.
Love a good pun.
Number 21, Carissa Doyle, is at the plate, and that's really where things kind of went south for Louisiana last inning, and that's where Montgomery scored all of their runs. So hopefully they can keep her off the base path, and that is on the inside corner of the plate. And a beautiful pitch, but it is a ball. The 1-0 to Doyle from Chandler. She looks in, and it's a longer look this time, and she paints the inside corner again, but this time it's for a strike. If you're just now joining us, it's 4-3. Montgomery County is leading the Louisiana Bulldogs here at Wallace Memorial Park. It's the top of the 4th inning, and this is a curveball that gets away from Chandler, and it's now 2-1. Little bit of confusion as Coach Heimer maybe made a suggestion that she wanted to talk to Doyle, and Doyle started walking down the third baseline, and Heimer was like, no, go back. You're supposed to be hitting right now. The 2-1. Inside corner of the plate, low. 3-1. Louisiana looking to put up another goose egg here as they allowed 4 runs last inning and trying to stay in this game and stay within 1. And this one's fouled off back to the screen. 3-2.
A little morale coming from the Wildcats dugout.
The 3-2 pitch. Inside and fouled off. That was a defensive swing, and Chandler had her tied up for sure there.
I don't know about you, but at bat, did you want to hear teammates cheering, or did you want to stay focused in on that pitch?
I actually tuned everything out.
Okay.
So I didn't really care if they were cheering for me or not. And this one's fouled and out of play. But they could have been screaming their heads off. They could have told me that, I don't know, something bad was going to happen, and I probably would have never heard them. I was in my own world.
Aren't we all?
The 3-2 pitch again. This one is lined into left field, and that is a single. So she's going to get things started again. Let's hope that we leave it here if you're a Bulldogs fan. Runner on first base, no outs. 4-3 is our score. Brings in Maddie Wisdom. She wears number 16, bats from the right side. Quite a few righties for Montgomery. The potential for a double play here, and there's showing bunt is Wisdom, and making the play is the third baseman, Emily Powell.
She was ready for it, too.
She was.
Scooped it up as soon as it was laid down.
She has an arm, too. That was a hard play, as that was bunted extremely well by Wisdom. And it was right down the line, and it looked like Powell knew all the way what she was doing, and she was able to get that out for Chandler and the Bulldog defense. Runner on second base now, but there is one out. Miley Reiki at the plate. She has some speed. Foul tipped for strike number 1. The 0-1 to Reiki. As Chandler looks in. A changeup off speed, and it's fouled, and it's going to hit a car. Woo. Or 2 of them. Now 0-2.
No windshields were harmed in the making of that play.
No insurance claims, I think, today, hopefully, at least for their sake. 0-2, 1 out, top of the 4th inning. Montgomery is leading 4-3, and this one is a defensive swing, and that car might get hit again. No? I don't think there's any point. I keep telling these kids, there's no points if you hit cars or light poles or anything like that. As much as we like to joke and say that there is, there's no points that you win for that.
Maybe she just really dislikes that minivan.
0-2 to Reiki. This one is high into left field. Reese Womack is making the catch, and she throws into third base and keeps the runner at second base. And that is all you can ask, is letting your defense work. And that was a great little battle there between Chandler and Reiki. And we're back to the top of the lineup. But 2 outs, wanting to strand that runner there. Second base. So Maddie Queetham is at the plate. Changeup. Ground ball to Emily Powell. She throws over to first base and makes the catch. It's Allie Jenkins. And we are headed to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Wallace Memorial Park. Louisiana trails Montgomery County 4-3. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Miller Ag Services, Clint Bowen Construction, Silex Banking Company, and Advanced Physical Therapy.
Are you looking for a small-town bank that will deliver personalized service? This is Michael Mudd, President and CEO of Silex Banking Company. Come visit us at our 20 South 2nd Street location in Silex for a sit-down one-on-one experience. If you can't stop by, visit us online at silexbank.com or call 573-384-5221. We also offer mobile deposit, e-statements, and online banking. Silex Banking Company, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Follow area high school sports on KJFM Radio. Brought to you by Brown's Processing and Smokehouse Meats, Young Enterprises, and Family Drug.
Louisiana is at the bottom of the lineup looking to get things started again with Reese Womack, and she made a catch out in left field. She normally plays right field, but she's playing left field today, so it's really easy for me to want to put her there. But she's playing left field today, made a great catch out there, looking to translate over here at the plate and get things started as Louisiana trails this one 4-3. Taken outside, and that is ball number 1. So that was in the other batter's box. The 1-0, and this one is grounded foul over to Coach Calvin, who steps out of the way. Now 1-1 to Womack.
I think smart at bats and just getting the play all the way through on the field, like looking the ball in, following through, it's going to win the game.
And that's something that they have done before, as we've mentioned, and they've had to fight. And this one is fouled out of play, and no one in the stands wants it. Everybody moved and hid more than anything. Nobody wanted that ball. But as we've mentioned, they've already beat Montgomery County, and they had to come back, and they had to get that win, and so they can do it here, and we know they can do it, and they know they can do it, so we'll see how they fare today. The 1-2 pitch from Quatham to Womack, and this one is lined down to right field line, and it is fair, and they're going to keep her going, and she's going to go to second base. She wanted to stop.
That was exactly on the line.
It was. There was chalk flying everywhere, and she had stopped herself from running, and she was almost ready to go back home, I think. But that is a double, stand-up double for Reese Womack. So that is another freshman doing some big things as things are getting started here again for Louisiana. So we're back to the top of the lineup. It's Jalea Reese. She struggled a little bit today. She's kind of struggling with that outside corner. As somebody who has batted from the left side, what does she have to do to get to that outside corner?
She needs to meet the ball sooner. Don't let it get too deep. Don't crowd the plate, but also just be selective. But again, you need to meet that ball before it gets too deep.
And this one is popped in the air to the pitcher, Maddie Quatham, and she makes the grab, and that is how out number 1 will be recorded here. Like Jalea Reese tried to bunt it, but she kind of punched at it instead of caught it, and that's how we get some of those bunts that kind of come pretty hard off the bat. There's still a runner at second base. So that's good news because the Bulldogs are at the top of their lineup and they have the potential to pick up another run here. And this one is fouled off the end of the bat by Wallace as she tried to square around a little too late. She was trying to get a bunt for a hit there. And that is strike number 1. And she squares around again there, and that is foul.
I think if she would have just had her bat out a little bit sooner, that would have been a beautiful bunt.
And, she probably could have there, too, because they kind of probably expect it now. After squaring the first time, they probably kind of expect exactly what she was doing. Now 0-2 to Wallace. And this one fouled as she was just trying to protect at the plate. Oh, 0-2. 1 out, runner on second base for the Bulldogs. That almost hits her in the head. She ducks a little bit. Now 1-2. On base percentage, right?
Yes.
Even if it means getting hit in the head?
Exactly. A walk is as good as a hit. Batters on base.
And it rattles the pitcher a little bit. Like, I just hit somebody in the head, and now you're standing at first base. That's not my problem.
It is. Smart batting. You're taking one for the team.
2-2. And she almost gets hit in the head again.
I think it's a sign.
It is. I think she's trying to give it to you, Katie. 3-2. No, we don't want to promote the injury. I know. It is kind of rough. It does rattle your brain a little bit. 3-2. And this one is in the dirt, ball number 4, so she draws the walk after being 0-2. Runners now at first and second base, and that brings in Maddie Chandler, who has already had a RBI today as she hit a line drive right up the middle, and she could do it again. Steps back into the box after a long look from Quatham. And that one's high and inside, ball number 1. Runners at first and second base. Louisiana trails Montgomery County 4-3 in the bottom half of the 4th inning at Wallace Memorial Park in this EMO conference matchup. This one is lined into center field, and it's caught by Elle Reagan. So she's been catching everything today. I think she's everywhere, which has been unfortunate for the Bulldogs. They have found those holes, but some of those balls that they've hit pretty deep in the park have been caught by Reagan.
You can't do much about good defense.
No, you cannot. So it's up to the junior, Emily Powell, to bring in at least a run here as she wants to tie this game for the Bulldogs. And she can do it. She's done it all year. And this one is hit hard back to Quatham, and Quatham makes the stop and throws it to first base. The Bulldogs strand runners at first and second. We are headed to the top of the 5th inning. Louisiana trails Montgomery County 4-3. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Lacrosse Lumber in Vandalia, Hayden's Motorsports Center, and Allison Crow Overhead Doors LLC. Hi, this is Brock Mitchell, and I am a physical therapist with Advanced Physical Therapy in Bowling Green. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat everything from sports injuries to work rehabilitation, arthritis, and post-surgical rehabilitation. This includes spinal care, balance issues, and vestibular treatment. You have a choice when it comes to physical therapy, and we hope you choose Advanced Physical Therapy. Conveniently located across from Bowling Green High School on Business 61. Call us today to schedule your next physical therapy appointment at 573-324-6079.
Lacrosse Lumber Company in Vandalia is your first stop for all your residential and commercial remodeling and new construction needs. Under new management, but their commitment to product knowledge and exceptional customer service sets them apart from their competitors. For building materials, plumbing supplies, paint, windows and doors, electrical supplies, and more, visit Lacrosse Lumber Company in Vandalia. Lacrosse Lumber Company, the oldest, most reliable lumber and hardware company in the Midwest since 1873.
Bringing you all the action from the Eagle 102 broadcast booth, sponsored by Family Drug in Louisiana.
We are just getting started here in the top of the 5th inning, and it was a ball to the batter here from Maddie Chandler, and that is how this inning starts. It was almost, and that finds the hole as it's hit to left field, and Reese Womack bodies it up and keeps it in front of her, and so it's just a single.
That hit by number 6, Olivia Fisher, correct?
Olivia Fisher. So brings in number 8, Elle Reagan, who's been making some stellar plays in center field for Montgomery. It's been kind of a pain for the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs. No outs, runner at first base. And that is taken on the inside corner of the plate for strike number 1. A good little pitch from Chandler. Painting the corners. Living on the black. The 0-1, and it's squared around to bunt, making the play, Emily Powell, and she throws it into the dirt, but it's a great scoop by Katie Wallace, and they're going to call her out at first base.
That was a really good, solid play by Katie to hang on to that ball.
Emily Powell tried to make a throw on the run and just almost had the yips almost is kind of what it looked like. She threw the ball straight into the ground, but Katie Wallace read that really well, and she was able to hold on and get the out. So runner at second base now, and 1 out. And that is a strike on the outside corner of the plate. And that is to Townsend. And she is tall, and she looks...
Sticking herself a hole.
Yeah, looks like she can definitely hit the ball. So we'll see what she does here. Runner on second base. A good lead out there. Fisher has one. She's getting nearly to third base, it seems. She has a very, very big lead.
If I was Pedersen behind the plate, I'd make that runner think twice.
0-2. This one's up in the zone. 1-2. Now the count. It was just outside and a little high. Runner on second base, just one out. Here in the fourth inning. Inside corner, and whew, he does not throw up the fist. I thought he was going to make a late call there, and so that is another ball to Townsend. It was a beautiful, beautiful pitch from Chandler. The 2-2. And this one's fouled back towards some cars, and it's not going to hit anything, it doesn't look like. So that's really nice. Thank you.
Took a nice hurdle over that black Chevy.
Yeah. That was a long, long foul ball. 2-2 again. Let's try it again, says Chandler. And it's a changeup, and it's read by Townsend. She has a really good feel for that, and she can throw it as a strike pretty much any time.
As a pitcher, when you're in the circle and you're confident, you have your rhythm, and you believe you're hitting the spots, what do you go through in your head when that ump is just not giving you what you deserve?
Well, I try to hit that corner again. I honestly just continue to pound it and just try to get the batters to swing. Eventually, in a tight game like this, you're going to have to swing the bat if you want to score a run, right? So in this situation, if I were Chandler, I'd continue to attack the inside corner of the plate. Like, that's your plate. That's where you throw. That's your power spot. Continue to throw it. Now, if it's a little different, that's a changeup that is fouled off again. Man, I think Townsend's just ready to play. Let's who can hit how many foul balls today, because that is a lot of them. And Chandler's just continuing to throw. But if this were a little bit of a different game and we were really able to work some counts and knowing that you don't need that insurance of runs, just take, right? Big curveball, and that was a swinging strikeout. That is a really feel-good moment for Chandler, and that makes you feel a little bit better about that runner on second base, because you now have 2 outs, and you could strand that runner at second base and head to the 5th inning, or excuse me, the bottom of the 5th inning with no runs crossing the plate for Montgomery. It's high and outside, ball number 1.
I think one of the things I remember most from my time as a high school athlete, especially in softball, is my coach, Rebecca Lipsy, or excuse me, Coach Prodley now. She'd always say, win the inning.
Yeah.
And that was instilled in us.
Win the inning. And this one is hit high in the air. Going backwards is Jordan Bayline, and she makes the catch, so they will strand the runner at second base. And so Louisiana is headed to the bottom of the 5th inning here. They're still trailing by 1 run, though. It's 4-3. Montgomery leads with Louisiana. 4-3, you're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
If it's time to ride or time to work, it's time to visit Hayden's Motorsports Center in Frankfort. Time to ride with Honda and Polaris ATVs, side-by-sides, and motorcycles. Time to work with Steel and Husqvarna chainsaws, weed eaters, leaf blowers, and more. There isn't a friendlier or more knowledgeable staff than those at Hayden's. If you need help at work or at play, let Hayden's Motorsports Center be your one-stop shop for the most fun and hard-working power sports equipment in the area. They're always ready to help. Hayden's Motorsports Center, just off Highway 61 North in Frankfort.
High school sports on your area sports leader, Eagle 102. Brought to you by Bowling Green Tractor, Vicky Cadwalder Real Estate, and Ingram Plumbing.
It's the bottom of the 5th inning, and we are at Wallace Memorial Park as they're getting a little slow here to their warm-up pitches, but that's okay. They should only need 1 or 2 before they head down, because we're deep into the game, and they only take 1. It's Quatham still pitching on the mound for the Lady Wildcats, and it's Allie Jenkins at the plate. She had a big hit her last at bat. She had a double. And so she could do the same here again and get things started for the Bulldogs. This time there'd be no outs where she's starting it. Last at bat there were a couple of outs when she was at the plate, and so it makes it a little bit hard sometimes to score runs, but they still did. Allie Jenkins, and she hops out of the way, and that's ball number 1. They might need to, it looks like they are. I was going to say they might need to start turning the lights on here as the sun has kind of hidden behind the clouds and moved out and sunset. And it's pretty cold here.
Yeah, it's about to get chilly.
Taking another ball. Outside corner of the plate. 2 balls to Jenkins. This is a hitter's count. And she hits it hard, and she finds a hole, and she hits it to left field, and it's a single, and she's going to draw to throw to second base, which was a good idea because coming up slow was Erica Devlin.
I think after that first pop-up from Jenkins, she probably just told herself no more.
Yeah.
Everything has to be solid line drive hits, hard grounders.
And she seems like she's a very disciplined hitter, and she seems like somebody who's almost a perfectionist at the plate. She wants to do things right. Brings in number 44, Jaden Bayline, and she hits it to center field, but making the catch is Elle Reagan. So a little bit aggressive and a little too eager maybe was Bayline as she got out on her front foot and then under it.
I'd really like to see Louisiana just take their time at the plate, have confidence, breathe, work the count, and then just give that ball a ride.
Letting it get deep is the thing here as they've been out front of everything. And this one is high in the zone, ball number 1. Those hits that we're seeing are typically line drives, and that's when they've let it get deep, and they have it timed up is what we should say. So Quatham may be a little bit slower than what they saw last night in Monroe City, and so that may be throwing some of their timing off, but it's all about adjustments, and hitting is adjustments, and softball is a game of adjustments. 2-0 now to DePriest. A hitter's count again. This one's fouled off. Oh.
2 for 2.
Man, she got a truck and an SUV. She must be angry. Now 2-1. Just 1 out. Runner at first base, and that's Jenkins. This one is low in the zone, and Jenkins is going to steal second base, and she is safe.
Under it.
Yeah. And Dylan Topol is not happy about that one. That was a beautiful throw, and coming across was Miley Reiki. Made a great tag, but just getting in there is Allie Jenkins, and I think it was really her slide, which was what made her safe.
It was a very good slide, low underneath.
It was a hook slide.
Hook slide, no pop-up. That was my favorite.
Pop-up was your favorite, or hook slide was your favorite?
Pop-up.
This one is grounded to the second baseman. Coming up and making the play is Gracie Cobb, but Tessa DePriest moves her runner into scoring position, and Louisiana now has the potential to tie this game as there is a runner at third base, and that's Allie Jenkins, and at the plate it's Jordan Pedersen.
Jordan Pedersen just has to have that confidence from her last 2 at-bats. She knows what the pitcher can do. Take your time.
And she's seen Quatham enough now that she knows what she's going to throw her. This one is popped in between second and center field. And dropped. It's Gracie Cobb who drops the ball, and a run comes across the plate. And that is Jenkins as she was running all the way as there was obviously 2 outs. And so now this game is tied. And we have a runner on first base, and that is Jordan Pedersen. At the plate, it's Reese Womack. And they're going to make a substitution, it looks like. Pinch runner for Pedersen. That's number 2, Isabella Lentz. She is a freshman.
You know what I believe an underappreciated quality of a player is? Running the whole way through the base. Not just popping up, oh, okay, go back. No, pop up, run. If it's foul, go back, grab your bat, just run through the bag.
Oh, yeah. That is the coach in me, but it was instilled in me at a young age that is exactly what you're supposed to do every time. You never really know what's going to happen. It could be an error, they could throw the ball over the first baseman's head, whatever it could be, right? I mean, obviously that's still an error, but you really never know. If you're just going and running as hard as you can, putting some pressure on, it could mean good things. Reese Womack is at the plate, and she swings at that one, and stealing is Lentz, and no one was there to cover the bag, so Lentz is going to go to third base, and she's in safely. And the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs dugout is excited right now. So you have a runner at third base. She was just looking to steal second. Nobody covered the bag. Throw goes to center field, and she finds her way to third. So
Is
Womack,
Isabel Lentz, right?
yes,
Big
Isabel
heads-up
Lentz.
play by a freshman coming into the game for the first time.
Sometimes running is one of the hardest things that you can do is, you know, if you're sitting on the bench all that time and then you come in to run, you have to be ready and heads up and in the game at all times. So runner at third base for Reese Womack. It's a 1-1 count to Reese. She could knock in a run here, give Louisiana the lead. She takes a strike. 1-2. Looking for another big moment here from the freshman. The 1-2. Fouled. That was a defensive swing. I think she went over her head to swing at that one. And she knows it too. She looked at her friends and said, all right, guys, I'm just trying to hit the ball, okay? And she digs back into the box. 1-2. 2 outs, runner at third base. This one is fouled back our way, but it gets over our heads, luckily. I didn't bring my gloves today. I can't catch and keep a computer and everything intact.
You can only multitask so much.
I know. I need to grow another hand. Another 1-2 pitch here. Doing it again. Quatham to Womack, and it's on the inside corner of the plate and backs her off, and that is a hard pitch to take. Now 2-2. This is a pretty good game here between Louisiana and Montgomery County. It's just what we were expecting out of this match, and that is inside again and a little high, says the umpire. 3-2. I'm looking up at this booth, and I don't know if it is. And that brings out, it's going to bring out Coach Hines for Montgomery, and she wants to talk to her pitcher. And looks like she's just trying to slow things down as they have that runner, and she doesn't want to lose the lead.
Sometimes a good tactic in any sport is taking that pause and making the other side lose that momentum. So we'll see if Louisiana can keep it up, keep it going. I think they can. They're dancing over there.
They are. They're excited. You can definitely tell that there is some newfound life is what I want to say, and some energy and some confidence in the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs this season as they've seemed to put things together this year. The 3-2 count. This one fouled, out of play.
To the other field.
It is. So she's going to interrupt the middle school game. Come on, Reese. And they have to run all the way to the foul pole to get that ball.
Let's not put it over their fence. Let's put it over our fence.
Exactly. I'm thinking Coach Calvin is thinking the same exact thing. 3-2 again. Quatham to Womack. This one fouled off. Woo.
To the dugout?
Yeah. Right off the top of the dugout. I almost fell into the dugout. They're yelling at her to hit it in the field of play. They're pointing and yelling and telling her where it should go. Like she doesn't know already. She said, I'll try it again. 3-2. This one is hit high. And foul. Man, I think that one would have gotten out. I can't really see over the dugout, but it went pretty far, so it looked like it just was shy of going over the fence there.
By now, I think they should just give it to her. She's worked so hard up there.
She has. There's a pause. It looks like they're throwing in another ball. Couple of them. Because she's hit so many foul balls, they have to throw in 2 or 3 at a time.
Is this a game or is this batting practice?
Well, if it was batting practice, my coaches would say if you hit foul balls in batting practice, well, you're out. I'm just lobbing them to you at this point. Why are you hitting foul balls?
Take a lap.
Yeah. Reese Womack wants to do 3-2 again. Quatham to Womack. This one's fouled off again. I bet you couldn't have guessed that was coming.
Sorry, people listening. A little kid almost got hit. It's just
You're just trying to save some lives.
Yep.
That's all we can ask. Still battling. Still 3-2. Game still tied at 4 runs apiece. Runner still at third base. Still 2 outs. This one is in the dirt. Taking first base is Womack and not coming home, even though it gets past the catcher.
And she's still going to second.
And that is Lentz over there at third base. And that was Reese Womack taking second base. That was a very heads-up base running. So now you have 2 runners in scoring position, and you're at the top of the lineup with Jalea Reese.
I'm sure Womack really wanted that hit, but she will gladly take that pass ball.
And she did something that we've talked about all game. If you can work a pitcher and get a lot of pitches and really work that pitcher down, you're only making it easier for yourself and your teammates. Jalea Reese is at the plate. Runners at second and third base for the Bulldogs.
At this point in the game, we should not be leaving runners on, so I want to see Jalea Reese pull something out.
Even if she could drop down a soft little bunt here. This one's grounded to the third baseman, Olivia Fisher, and she makes a clean throw to first base to put an end to the threat, but Louisiana ties this one, and it's 4-4. We're headed to the top of the 6th inning here at Wallace Memorial Park. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Lynn's Heritage House, Niemeyer Family Farms, and Craig's Truck and Tractor.
Allison Crow Overhead Doors in Mexico, Missouri, family owned and operated, is committed to providing honest, prompt, and trustworthy service to all of mid-Missouri. They understand the local rural customers and their needs. Allison Crow Overhead Doors offers new and replacement doors, installation, and service for all sizes of overhead doors. For more information, find us on Facebook or at our website, allison-crow.com. Allison Crow Overhead Doors wishes a season full of fun for all area teams.
Lynn's Heritage House isn't your average senior living facility. At Lynn's, residents have an abundance of social and recreational activities, including trips to the Twin Pike Family YMCA, numerous craft projects, and even the occasional day trip around Pike County. As a resident, you can enjoy the same independent lifestyle you've always enjoyed, but with the peace of mind knowing that help is available when needed. For more information, visit Lynn's Heritage House, 800 Kelly Lane in Louisiana, or online at lynsheritage.com.
Hear all the action from the Eagle 102 broadcast booth, sponsored by Family Drug in Louisiana.
It is the top of the 6th inning here at Wallace Memorial Park, and we have a tied game in this EMO conference match as number 11, Erica Devlin, fouls this one off, and that is strike number 1 to lead off the 6th inning. So a couple times through the lineup here now. Rachel, what are we looking for as hitters if you're Montgomery or even if you're Louisiana in this game? If you've seen a pitcher a couple times, what do you look for?
Honestly, this is my way of just approaching the box. I just had that confidence in myself that I could get a hit, and I am going to be patient because I want that perfect pitch so I could lay down the perfect bunt, get the perfect placement for a slap to better my team in the end. So I'm just looking, again, working the count and being patient.
And typically you know what that pitcher is probably going to throw you. But as a defense, you also have seen these players hit the last couple of innings. You know what they're going to do. You know their swings. You know if they're going to pull it to the right side of the field. So you know all of those things. And so by this end of the game, nearing the end of the game here, you should really know what to look for, both defensively and offensively. And this grounded to the third baseman, Emily Powell, and making a big scoop over there at first base. It's Allie Jenkins, and that is out number 1 recorded for the Bulldogs.
I think it's always nice when, you have those fans, you have your teammates or the coach calling out, hey, this batter hit it here last time. But it's also a sport of mentality, and are you taking mental notes on the little things that could be repeated throughout the game?
A mental game it is, and that is ball number 1, and it was just up a little bit in the zone. Want to know is our count. as some fans are kind of coming in as the middle school softball game, I believe the 8th grade game probably just came to a conclusion, so they're trying to figure out where they're going to sit now for the high school game as this one's tied, and it's 1-1. There's one out here in the top of the 6th inning.
They can sit by us if they bring us some hot chocolate.
Yes, hot chocolate, whatever you feel fancied to bring. Inside corner, strike number 2. That was a big pitch there from Chandler. One and 2, 1 out. We are tied at 4 runs apiece, and this one is grounded foul. Rachel, we'll talk about you. We'll brag on you a little bit. You were a state champion, right?
I was.
You were. That was your freshman year?
It was.
Yeah.
Seems so long ago. 10 years.
You just celebrated 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is fouled down the third baseline and hits off the dugout. What do you think, and this is for anybody who's playing right now, what do you think it takes? What did it take to win that state championship as a team?
Right now, well, any season, but for us it took like friendship and a good community within the softball group, the team. It wasn't just about the individual. It was about everyone and doing what was best for the team, stepping up. So if that means that you weren't batting good a game and you just had to play the field and someone batted for you, that's fine. Everyone has a job and everyone can do that job, and it's okay.
And that's a strikeout from Maddie Chandler, as there was one pitch that was right on the inside corner of the plate. Looked like it was going to be a strike, and it was called a ball, but she comes back and gets a swinging strikeout there, and that was Carissa Doyle who struck out there. So we are now at, Carissa Doyle. So we are at Maddie Wisdom now for the middle of the 6th inning. Oh and 1 is the count. And we have some teams that have obviously been ranked in the top 10 for the state, Silex being one of them, Ellsbury being another, Bowling Green, and all of these teams have either gotten, you have Bowling Green, who's had a state championship, Silex, who's had a state championship, who's either been to the Elite Eight, been to the Final Four, and that's something that they have to remember as well going into postseason. And that is a big swing, and it is hit off the glove of Pedersen, and taking first base because it was a drop third strike is Maddie Wisdom. So that is tough with 2 outs. Brings in Miley Reiki. This one is hit past Allie Jenkins, and it gets to the right field, but stopping at second base is Maddie Wisdom. So Miley Reiki is at first base. At second base, it's Maddie Wisdom. And so that ball getting past Jordan Pedersen is not what the Lady Bulldogs were wanting there, and there's really nothing that Chandler can do about that. But it looks like Coach Kelsey Calvin wants to talk to her team about what's going on, as there's runners at first and second base with still 2 outs, but they want to keep this game tied. They don't want this run to score. They just need one more out here. So what do you think she's out there telling her team?
It's hard to tell, but I know from if I were a coach, I would go out there, calm them down, but let them know, 1 mistake is okay. 2 is what really kills you. So just know that you are capable and get back focused, make the play, do the little things right.
Yeah. And sometimes, it's really easy to sit back on your heels, especially when you're getting those strikeouts, or you're getting those little plays, or the ball's not being hit to you today, or whatever it may be. And sometimes you can get caught on your heels, and that's where we see some of those errors. It's like when we mentally disengage, that's when those runners are appearing on bases, and that could definitely hurt. So hopefully that is an end to this inning.
If you get caught on your heels, you know what you do? You got to charge the ball. Always be moving forward.
Always. That pitch was inside to Quatham, and it was a nice pitch on the inside corner of the plate, but it is a ball. This one's fouled off, and it is going to stay fair. No, he called it foul again. Okay.
Pretty sure that was in front of the box.
Yeah. There is no box.
The
so
chalk
that's
lines
the
are
unfortunate.
gone.
Yeah. So it's a really hard call there. So he called it foul, despite the fact that it was technically in fair territory. But they'll do it again. 2-1. So that ball was up in the zone. So unless it hit off a foot or something that we didn't see, but he did not call dead ball. He just called foul ball. This one is hit high in the air to left field. Running in to make the catch. It's Reese Womack. And that is a big, big out there for Louisiana as they leave runners at first and second base. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. This game is knotted at 4 runs apiece. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by McMailer & Sons Backhoe and Excavating, Gypsy Soul Salon and Boutique, and Knight Equipment Company.
Niemeyer Family Farms is a proud, progressive, growth-oriented family farming operation whose mission is to provide superior returns to all associated landowners and clients. Niemeyer Family Farms in Bowling Green wish all the area sports teams the best of luck this season.
The most complete coverage of high school sports is on Eagle 102, and it's brought to you by Mid-America Auto and Towing, the Mercantile Bank, and Pike County Mutual Insurance.
It is the bottom of the 6th inning here at Wallace Memorial Park. If the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs can score a run here, all they have to do is go back out there, and then they have to get 3 more outs, and then they could win this game, right? But you could always use a little bit more insurance. So they're at a good part of their lineup. It will be Katie Wallace at the plate for Louisiana. She'll lead things off, and then it'll be Maddie Chandler. After that, it's Emily Powell, and then Allie Jenkins again. So they are moving their way right through that lineup, as Wallace is going to lead things off. So they just need a base runner, and they need to punch 1 run across the plate as this game is knotted at 4, as we mentioned.
We saw them start off very strong, but we all know it's not how you start the game. It is definitely how you finish the game.
And that's how it goes for both sides. So wanting at least just 1 run here to put them through the next inning, and they could get 3 outs and take this one home. But you always want that insurance, as Montgomery has been clawing their way back into this one. And ball 1 is taken low. Wallace steps back in the box. Quatham with a long look. Quatham is a right-handed pitcher. This one is on the outside corner of the plate, and that is strike number 1. So being selective is Wallace and trying to get her pitch. The 1-1. This one is lined to center field, and making the catch, it's once again Elle Reagan, as she has been just a solid defender for Montgomery today. She has made every catch every ball that has come to her, she's made the catch. Even balls that were not hit to her, the balls that were hit into left center and right center field, she made the run and she made the catch. So that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ball number 1 taken by Chandler. It's another batter's box. And she said, no, thank you. I don't want it. I'll step back in and wait for you to give me a pitch that I can hit. This one is taken low on the inside corner. It's ball number 2. They wanted that one. Cratham and Topol did. That is a strike, and it's on the outside corner.
I think I would have gone for that one.
Yeah, I know. That one looked nice. 2-1. But she's been able to get a couple of pitches down the middle, obviously, because she's been able to drive it back up the middle today, so maybe that's what she's waiting for. Waiting for a mistake. 3-1. She could see one here. Chandler looking to help herself. Right around her average of giving up about 4 runs a game, so 3.9 was her ERA coming into this game. 4 runs have crossed the plate for Montgomery. And walking is Chandler, so very selective at the plate. Now a runner on first base with just 1 out for Emily Powell. I believe that's Harley Norval, who will pinch run for Chandler.
Emily Powell, I think, with a big hit down the third baseline last time. Let's see if she can do it again.
This one is chopped to the shortstop. Coming across to try to make the play. It's Miley Reiki, and she is not in time. She should have tossed that ball.
She's upset.
As a middle infielder, you're probably screaming, toss that ball.
It.
Yeah.
Drop to the knee, flip it, get it out of your hands.
So that goes down as an infield hit for Powell. Fielder's choice was not a good one. First and second base now.
It might be the mistake that Louisiana needs.
Brings in Allie Jenkins, who has had some success at the plate today. And she takes strike number 1 on the inside corner of the plate. Kind of backs her off a little bit. Let's see if she gets back in and steps right up to the plate. The 0-1, and that one is fouled. So now 0-2. Just a reminder, if you're just now joining us, it's 4-4. Louisiana is tied with Montgomery County, and we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Louisiana has runners at first and second base as they're looking to bust this one open and put at least 1 run across the plate, if not 2. And she goes down swinging. Base was occupied, and going was Norval, and they run themselves out of this inning. So that was a drop third strike, and running was the base runners for Louisiana. They didn't have to go anywhere, and first base was occupied, but they run themselves out of this inning, and we are headed to the top of the 7th, and it is still knotted at 4. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Miller Ag Services, Clint Bowen Construction, Silex Banking Company, and Advanced Physical Therapy.
At Craig's Truck and Tractor Repair in Vandalia, they say it's better to prevent a breakdown than having to pay for one. Preventative maintenance is key, but if your machinery should break down, Craig's Truck and Tractor Repair is there to serve you in the shop, on the farm, or roadside. See Craig's for semi-truck and trailer repair, oil changes, overhauls, and much more. Farm planting season to harvest season and beyond, Craig's Truck and Tractor Repair can help keep all your equipment and big rigs rolling. Call in or stop in today. Craig's Truck and Tractor Repair, Highway 54 east of Vandalia.
When it's time for some heavy-duty work at your place, there's only one name to remember, McMailer. McMailer & Sons, Backhoe and Excavating of Silex, offers septic system pumping and grease trap cleanouts. Just give them a call for all types of backhoe work with high lift and track hole. They install water or sewer lines, septic tanks, and drain tile. They can build lakes, do dump truck work, jackhammering, bobcat work, and more. Fully insured, you can count on quality workmanship from McMailer & Sons, Backhoe and Excavating in Silex. Call 573-384-5978.
Bringing you all the action from the Eagle 102 broadcast booth, sponsored by Family Drug in Louisiana.
We are just getting underway here in the top of the 7th inning. There are 2 balls on Olivia Fisher, and she is the number 2 hitter for Montgomery, and so this is where they kind of done some damage. So looking to minimize base runners here as this game is tied at 4 runs apiece. That one's fouled off down the third baseline. Now 2-1.
There's 1 inning left. Got to make every little moment in the box, moment on the field count.
Everything matters here. The 2-1 pitch. And that one's up in the zone, just missing. Now 3-1. Fisher steps out. Chandler takes a long look as she's trying to find the strike zone here and keep Fisher at the plate. This one grounded foul. Moving out of the way is Coach Audra Heimer, who is at third base.
Fisher taking strong, hard swings in the box, so she's out to get a strong hit for her team.
And you can definitely tell that she's a hitter and she's experienced at the plate. This one is grounded down the third baseline, and it's just foul. I saw chalk flying, but that was before the bag as Emily Powell couldn't get to it. So worked her way back into this count. It's 3-2. It's a battle here between Chandler and Fisher, and it hits her. So that one was spinning and went a little too far inside, so you have a runner at first base for Montgomery County with no outs here in the top of the 7th.
If you're, again, in the pitching circle, what's going through your head right now in order to get your team off the field back batting?
Well, if I'm Maddie Chandler, I know that I'm pretty good at getting some ground balls, right? So if I can do that, maybe I can keep that runner from getting to second base. I can get a ground ball to second baseman, Katie Wallace or Jordan Bayline, and they're going to cover the bag, and we're going to keep that runner at first base and get an out here.
Exactly. Trust your defense.
Stepping back into the box, it looks like number 8, Elle Reagan. And she takes a strike after taking a ball, so 1-1. As Allie Jenkins seems to be trying to turn up the tempo here and make it go a little bit quicker. And they're bunting, and that is bunted foul. 1-2. So that makes you feel pretty good. You're in a pretty good position as a pitcher and as a defense, because there's a really good chance that they're probably not going to, I'm not going to say that they won't, because there's been times, they're probably not going to bunt with 2 strikes here, right?
Nope. But Powell and Jenkins were ready for that bunt.
This one is hit right back up the middle, and they can't make the stop, so that was just a spinner that got right past Chandler, and then it gets through the infield. So now you have runners at first and second base. So no outs still. Runners at first and second base. They have a force out at third. Number 20, Kai Rulo Townsend, is at the plate. She takes strike number 1 from Chandler. That's exactly what you want to see, though, out of Chandler, is having that confidence and stepping right back out there and firing strikes. That one's out of the zone, ball number 1. 1-1.
Can't hear right now because I have these headphones on, but if I were a player on the field, I would be giving out encouragement and just making sure my team is still up and they know that we're still in this game.
It's very easy to get down on yourself in this moment, especially when there's no outs and runners in scoring position. That's on the outside corner, and that's a strike. 1-2. This could be a really big out for the Lady Bulldogs. And if they can strand runners, that's momentum going into the bottom half of the 7th inning, looking to win this game. They just need 1 run to do it, as long as they can strand some runners, as this game is knotted at 4 apiece. This one's fouled out of play. We'll do 1-2 again. Been lots of foul balls today from both sides. Stepping back into the batter's box is Townsend. And this one's fouled out again.
Hit the bathroom this time.
And I think 2 cars after that. Man. We'll try 1-2 again.
We don't need a bat boy. We need a ball boy.
Yes, we do. And they're going to throw like 3 or 4 of them in at a time, because that's how many seem to go out. The 1-2 count again to Townsend. Up in the zone. Not a bad idea. Trying to get her to chase. 2-2. There is a force out at third base, so Louisiana needs to be talking about that, trying to get the lead runner and trying to keep her with, from running distance to home plate. She still is in scoring position out there at second base, but we don't want to make it any closer. 3-2. That ball was up in the zone. Digging back into the box, taking her time is Townsend. She knows what she's doing, but Chandler trying to win this battle. Fouled out of play. Oh,
that one definitely left a dent.
Yeah, that one didn't sound good. That's just not a very ideal place to park. I know you probably have to. That's the unfortunate part. You kind of have to. This ball yard is packed today, and so That car got hit pretty hard. And this one is hit to the first baseman, Allie Jenkins. And stepping on first base and making the out at first base is Allie Jenkins, but she throws to home and almost throws it away. But the Bulldogs have an out. Runners at second and third base now.
I think that was a good idea going home. Just got to make sure everyone is aware of where the ball's at and where it's going to go.
And she had time, and she could have set her feet and made that throw, but she almost rushed herself, and she almost threw that ball away, and that run could have scored. Runners at second and third base. I don't know if she's tying shoes or, yep, that's what it looks like. So at the plate, it's Dylan Topol, the catcher for Montgomery County. That one's high and inside.
I have it written down here, 2 hits. So I know she's had 2 hits in the prior innings, but for Chandler this time around, either on the ground or let's just shut her down.
Yeah, a pop fly on the infield would probably be ideal, or a strikeout.
Yeah.
That's really what you're looking for here. The 2-0 pitch. This one is outside and called for a strike. 2-1. That was a generous call, but it was a great pitch, though, from Chandler, so he probably called it when it crossed the plate. It was on the backside. It moved pretty far out of the zone. 2-1. This one is hit into the bottom of the zone. 3-1. This one is grounded to Katie Wallace, and she's going to first base, and there's nothing you can do as that runner is crossing home plate, and now it is 5-4, but you do have 2 outs, so a little bit of work to do for Louisiana.
If Louisiana can just get this 3rd out and go in and bat, 1 run is easily made up. It's all about resilience and staying calm and focused on the task.
You wanted it out there, but as this ball is taken high and outside for ball number 1. But the thing is what can we do to freeze that runner? Right.
Exactly,
That's my first question. As that runner had their head down and was going all the way, throw it home. I know her momentum was moving her to first base, but at that point, this is almost you have a tied game. If you can stop that run from being scored, that's what you want.
I think that comes with probably years of experience. Not saying that Wallace does not have that. She's a very well-versed player, but sometimes reaction just takes over. However, that would have been a good thing to do.
That ground ball hits off of Maddie Chandler's foot, and it was hit pretty hard, so I don't know if Coach Calvin's going to come to check on her, but another run crosses the plate. Now 6-4. So a hard ground ball hit back to Chandler. She just couldn't get a glove on it, but she did get a foot on it, and it was booted to the shortstop bayline, and a run crosses the plate. So both runners that got on at the beginning of the inning found their way across the plate. It's 6-4 that Montgomery County leads this one. And nice curveball in the outside corner, and gets number 21, Carissa Doyle, swinging on that one. Runner at first base. 2 outs. So they need 2 runs to tie it. And that runner was going. And it's Erica Devlin. She had her head down and she was running, so trying to steal second base, it looked like. 0-2, 2 outs. It's the top of the 7th. And she gets a strikeout. So the Bulldogs are going to need a little bit of runs and to make this game continue as they trail 6-4 to Montgomery County. You're listening to Area High School Softball on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Lacrosse Lumber in Vandalia, Hayden's Motorsports Center, and Allison Crow Overhead Doors LLC.
Gypsy Soul Salon and Boutique has rolled out their fall fashion line just in time for the cooler temperatures. Check out Gypsy Soul's line of fall graphic tees, autumn dresses, jackets, flannels, and more. Accessorize your look with mirror belts, boots, jewelry, and wide brim hats. Gypsy Soul Salon and Boutique has the perfect selection of clothing to spice up your closet. There is something for everyone. Make a statement this fall with a piece from Gypsy Soul's fall collection. Gypsy Soul Salon and Boutique, just off the square in Bowling Green with the porch out front.
The best coverage of high school sports on KJFM is brought to you by County Market in Louisiana and Vandalia and Bowling Green Pharmacy.
The bottom of the 7th inning, Louisiana trails Montgomery County, and they're down to their last 3 outs as it is 6-4 here at Wallace Memorial Park. And we are at Jordan Bayline in the lineup, so somebody who can get things started for the Bulldogs, and they're going to need 2 runs to tie this game, 3 runs to win it. So they had a bumpy top half of the 7th inning, and that kind of led to their downfall here, but they still have the potential to come back and win this game, and they've had the fight in them all year, and they were able to come from behind and beat Montgomery County earlier this year in the Ellsbury tournament, so they can still do it again. As Bayline steps into the box. Bayline is a freshman. She wears number 44 and bats from the right-hand side of the plate. Ball number 1 is taken high and inside.
All game they've been aggressive at the plate, but you're down 2 runs. Bottom inning, you need to be patient.
And ball on the outside corner of the plate now. 2 balls and no strikes. I take at least 1 strike. If I'm trailing and it's the 7th inning, I always make sure that I take a strike.
Yep.
And I always made sure my teammates did too, or if not, they were going to know it. What'd you do that for?
A good stink eye.
Yeah. 3-0. Hopefully no swinging here, and she doesn't. And it's a ball, or excuse me, it's a strike right down the middle. A little low, but 3-1 now the count. Bayline steps back in. The 3-1. This one, line to center field, and that's a single, and it gets past. And staying at first base is Bayline, as El Regan has made it. She kind of tipped it, and like kind of just died in the grass, so it didn't really it got past her, but it didn't get past her.
Yeah, just by a hair.
Yeah. So it was almost like she overran it. So she tipped it, and it just kind of got past her. But that's a good sign for the Bulldogs, as they have a runner on first base to start this inning. And no outs. It's Tessa DePriest at the plate. She's their 7-hole hitter. Umpires are writing some things down and getting things ready. It looks like maybe there was a pinch runner. Michaela Leslie put in for Bayline.
Still cheering coming from the Louisiana dugout. That's a good sign. Confidence is still there.
They know that they have a potential to win this game, as it's only 6-4. You have no outs, and you have a runner at first base. Taking a ball inside is DePriest. DePriest digs back in. She's been in this situation before, as have many of the Bulldogs. They've been that batter at the plate when they're down and they need some runs. And this one's fouled out of play. Put down towards the dugout. DePriest steps back in the box. 1-1. This one's in the dirt, and it gets past Topol. And you have a runner at second base now, so a runner is in scoring position.
Good heads-up running. Again, earlier in the game, I said my favorite thing was a pass ball from the catcher. Like, just take advantage of it.
You really never know what's going to happen whenever those balls get past the catcher or past the defender at that point. And this one is hit to the 5-6 hole, but it was knocked down by Fisher, but safe at first base is Tessa DePriest. So that probably keeps her run from scoring.
And the runner on second for Louisiana moves to third, hesitating a little, so the ball does not hit her, but makes her way to third.
That is something we were talking about last week, and it's just one of those things that if the ball does hit you, that's kind of one of the worst outs, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of shoot yourself in the foot on that one because you can jump out of the way, you can move, you can do whatever, but it's truly something you got to keep heads up for. So runners at first and third. There's no outs. It's 6-4. It's the bottom of the 7th inning here at Wallace Memorial Park. Looks like Topol maybe putting a sweatshirt on. Kind of an interesting move, middle inning. But she wants to stay warm, which makes sense. So the umpire's going to clean the plate.
As a catcher, I never had a problem staying warm.
Yeah. You're squatting the whole time. That's all your muscles working, I feel like.
Yeah.
She's moving around quite a bit. She's had to block. She's had to move and go pick a ball or two up. Either way, she has her gear back on, and we're ready to go. It gave time for Coach Kelsey Calvin to talk strategy with her girls. As Jordan Pedersen is at the plate, she's our 8-hole today. Runners at first and third, and she squares around to bunt. Taking second base is DePriest. So runners at second and third now for the Bulldogs. And that was a ball to Pedersen.
The tying runs are both in scoring position.
And they can do it here. Can win this game, or at least tie it. That ball is high and almost gets away from Topol, but she hangs on. 2-0. They'd be in a really good position if Pedersen could get on, whether it be with a hit, knock a run in, or if she reaches on a walk, whatever it may be. Bunted, foul, 2-1.
I think it's crucial if Pedersen goes up to bunt again that she does lay it down.
Yes, because you don't want to try to do it with 2 strikes. Put yourself in a bad position and a team in a bad position. Did they call her with the bat out, or is that a strike? Oh, 3-1.
Yep,
Okay.
Still a ball.
There was a lot of shouting, and I was like, did they call something that I'm not familiar with?
I think it's just high school boys being high school boys.
Yeah. 3-1. This one is inside, and that is ball 4. And now you have bases loaded, and there is no one out.
And it is Reese Womack up, correct?
Yes, it is. As the high school football boys kind of make their way up to cheer on the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs, who have quite a bit of energy. Yeah. They might get a little too rowdy. We'll have to see. But it's always really nice to have the support of your peers, and I'm sure that's helping the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs, who are very excited. You can see them. They haven't stopped dancing in the dugout. They haven't stopped cheering, and they're even dancing on the base path. So they are excited, to say the least. They're trying to get this win today. Brings in Reese Womack. She's going to step into the plate. And this is a big, big, big moment for the freshman. Womack is a right-handed batter, very tall, and she's come up big for the Bulldogs a couple of times. And this one's fouled out of play. In her last at-bat, she had so many foul balls.
She did.
And she almost hit one out.
You can tell that from that last at-bat, she's eager to really get a hold of the ball. But again, patience.
She's seeing the ball well.
Mm-hmm.
This one's high and inside.
I feel like either way, walk, she gets on, gets a run, RBI, she gets out, but we still get a run potentially, you know?
Yes. Either way, they're still making Quatham throw quite a few pitches. This one is grounded foul. And so, you know, let's say they tie this game. Quatham still has to go out there. She's thrown a lot more pitches now because they're fouling these off. They're being selective at the plate, right? So this is only helping them get to where they want to be. The 1-2 pitch to Reese Womack. There's still no outs here. Bases are loaded, and this one's fouled. Hits the screen. The Bulldog fans and students are all anticipating something big here. This one is hit high in the air to left field. Coming in and dropped the ball. 1 run's going to cross the plate. Everyone is safe. No outs. 1 run is what is needed to tie this ball game, as it is 6-5 now. So that will be an error on the left fielder, Erica Devlin, who looked like she kind of lost it in the lights. And now that's more life for the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs. They were on their horse, they were running, made it into the bag safely, and a run scores for Louisiana. This one is hit high and out of play. It's a foul ball. I hope it didn't hit somebody, but the reaction tells me differently.
Hopefully, Jalea Reese can carry this momentum from her teammates into her approach at the box and put that ball in play.
If she could find a hole here, there's a big gap up the middle. 1-1. She has the speed to put pressure on defense, and if they have to come up and make a throw to first base, that's going to be really, really tough. And sometimes that pressure can make you make an error and lead to more runs for Louisiana. This one is hit to right center field, and it gets down, and 1 run's going to cross the plate, and here's 2, and the Bulldogs walk this game off with a big hit from Jalea Reese, right center field.
In the park home run?
It was. I mean, technically they won it, but she came all the way around to score, and the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs are celebrating on the field, as that was a big hit from Jalea Reese, and that was exactly what they were looking for. Louisiana walks this game off. It's 6-5. We'll have more in the post-game show on Eagle 102.
The Eagle 102 post-game show is coming up.
This is Tracy Brookshire with Pike County Health Department Home Health and Hospice. Did you know our agency currently offers over 30 programs and services to our communities? The Women, Infant, and Children's Program, infant through adult immunizations, car seat safety courses, diabetes counseling, and of course our amazing home health and hospice programs, just to name a few. Learn more by visiting our website at pikecountyhealth.org and see what services you and your family could benefit from.
Knight Equipment Company in Bowling Green specializes in wire rope, chains, nylon slings, and fittings. Knight Equipment also specializes in inspections, splicing, and electromagnetic testing in the field. All products are made to order. Visit Knight Equipment Company at 717 North 15th Street in Bowling Green, or give them a call at 800-735-3212. You can also visit them online at knightheq.com. That's www.knightheq.com. Knight Equipment Company in Bowling Green.
Your car, your stuff, your savings. Combine your auto and renter's insurance with a call to State Farm Insurance agent Cindy Blaylock in Louisiana, and let Cindy show you how to put life back in your life insurance. Auto, home, and life. Make your wallet happy. Here to help life go right, State Farm Insurance agent Cindy Blaylock in Louisiana.
Hear all the action from the Eagle 102 broadcast booth, sponsored by Family Drug in Louisiana. Time now for the Eagle 102 postgame show on KJFM.
So it was Louisiana that walked this one off, and the final score of 9-6, and a big hit from Jalea Reese, who came through for the Louisiana Lady Bulldogs. And we almost didn't expect it out of Jalea Reese because we were expecting her to poke something through a hole, and she did poke it through a hole, but it was way, way deeper than we were kind of expecting today.
Yes. And she is the leadoff batter, correct?
She is the leadoff batter. So she sparked I want to say she kind of sparked them right there. That was a really big hit, and they're excited. That's going to be some momentum going through the rest of the season. And that's something that, it's a hard thing to do, is to come back and win that game. To win against somebody, to come back and win against them twice. So they already had to come back and beat them in the Ellsbury tournament. They had to come back and win that game. It was 5-4. And then, they had to come back here today, and they were down 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning. And so when they come out of that and they're coming to the bottom of the 7th inning, you have to score 2 runs. And they did it. They were able to do it. They never got down on themselves. They were able to load the bases, and they did it, and they didn't have any outs.
They did not, and I am very proud of them for, coming into that last inning knowing that they're 2 runs down. But it seems like, again, in the dugout and just on the side, they kept that confidence and that spirit up, and that can carry you through hard moments. Staying focused, but also just going out there and acting as a team and rooting for one another.
Yes, and so they went out there and they definitely had some ups and downs. There was some times where you saw Louisiana commit some errors, and they never really got down though, and that was something that we talked about and throughout the game, and you being a state champion and having that friendship and that camaraderie and having everyone's back and being able to do those things, that's something that's going to build a championship team here at Louisiana, which is something that Coach Calvin has been trying to instill in our athletes.
Of course, it's not just the skills that makes a great team. It is what the teammates build amongst themselves and how they support one another that just really drives home that possibility of, we can get this state title potentially, or just make a really good postseason.
Yes, and so that's something that Louisiana has definitely made a run for, and so they've been trying all year to make their way in the EMO conference, and they've definitely done that, and they're trying to make their way in district play. We'll wrap this one up in just a little bit. You're listening to the postgame show on Eagle 102.
High School Game of the Week coverage brought to you by Lynn's Heritage House, Niemeyer Family Farms, and Craig's Truck and Tractor.
At Pike County Memorial Hospital, we know how important athletics are for your kids, but with an active lifestyle of sports come health risks and safety hazards. As a certified athletic trainer at Pike County Memorial Hospital, I work closely with our primary care physicians, orthopedic doctors, and physical therapists. We can make a difference between safe play and dangerous injuries for your athletes. Working with Bowling Green, Clopton, and Louisiana schools, our goal is to provide the best possible outcome for your athlete. I'm Casey Sutton, certified athletic trainer with Pike County Memorial Hospital. I'm at work while your athletes are at play.
When you support a locally owned pharmacy, you're contributing to the growth of the community.